recognized him. The McMurray boys all had their father's wide shoulders and height, but Sage was small, even as a woman. If she'd been a colt, he would have named her Wildfire. The fact that all her brothers were older and bigger never frightened her for a moment. When she was younger, she'd often stood before the three of them and threatened to take them all on in a fight. Now she jumped over the railing and ran toward him, her long braid flying behind her. Though dressed in trousers and shirt, no one would mistake her for a boy. As she ran at full speed to him, Travis lowered from his horse in time to catch her and swing her around as he'd always done. They were both laughing when they hugged. Travis had been 10 when she was born. They'd lost their father the March before. 4 months later, their mother died. Neighbors said their mother, Autumn McMurray, never recovered from the birth of Sage. But the boys saw the light go out of her eyes when she learned of her husband's death. Autumn stayed alive long enough to give Sage life, and then she joined her husband, Andrew, in death. As he always did, Travis looked for a hint of his mother in Sage's face, but she had blue eyes, not brown, and hair streaked with sunshine, not dark and earthy. Their mother's Apache blood reflected in him alone, not Sage or his brothers. You filled out. He sat her down. In several places. It was bound to happen, Sage laughed. You've been gone so long, I could have had a batch of kids by now. He shook his head. No. With those clothes, I'm guessing you're still an old maid. 18 is hardly an old maid. And what else would I be comfortable in? I had to wear my brother's hand-me-downs most of my life. She looped her arm in his, and they moved toward the house. Besides, I plan on changing the old maid part soon. Got the unfortunate prey in sight? He tugged at her braid, thinking it didn't matter how old she thought she was. She'd always be his kid sister. Maybe I could wing him for you, so he couldn't run so fast. When she made a face, he added, Just a flesh wound, nothing serious. Some men think better after they've lost a little blood. Travis wasn't surprised when she tried to trip him. I don't know who yet, she admitted. But the annual spring dance is tomorrow night at Elmo Anderson's barn. Tegan and Tobin don't even listen when I talk about it. But now you're here, you can take me. It'll give me a chance to look at the quality of the pickings. She hugged his arm. I'm so glad you're here. I was down to begging Martha to escort me. Travis laughed. The old housekeeper wouldn't budge from this place if a herd of buffalo crossed McMurray land. Now you're elected, Sage said simply, as if he'd solved a problem. Travis groaned. He had no doubt Sage would have her pick of the single men once she set her mind to marriage, but the thought of going to a barn dance made him wish he'd checked the dates before asking for a month's leave from the Texas Rangers. One annual barn dance shouldn't have been hard to miss. After all, Sage had mentioned it in her last 2 letters. He mumbled an oath at his lack of planning. Sage slapped at his arm. Stop that! One of my brothers has to take me off this property or I'll never marry. I'll end up like the 3 of you, single forever. Tobin won't even consider going with me. He might have to talk to someone not related to him. And Tegan gave his standard answer that he didn't have time for such nonsense. As always, Travis felt her pain, even now when most of it was worry over nothing. All right. If I can get the smell of the trail off me by tomorrow, I'll take you. But don't expect me to dance. Except for a few people. He'd never found the townsfolk particularly friendly. You're not going to believe how the town around Elmo's trading post has grown up. We've got a lean-to that a traveling blacksmith uses, a barn and corral for folks passing through, and there's talk of framing out a